What is up, everybody? This is Jeff with the Horror Fiend. Today I'm excited. I have another interview bringing you guys, and this one is with Mr. Mark Haynes. He is player 4 in the movie Stream. He's the one that I've been saying that I'm going for. My money is on him. Mr. Haynes, thank you for agreeing to be on the show. We are happy to have you.
It is my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Um, so the first thing I want to talk about is like, and I always ask this of everybody is, so what got you into acting? What got you into wanting to do this line of work?
Oh, it's kind of always been a passion of mine ever since I was, a young age. And then I was doing the whole bodybuilding thing and then did like some wrestling stuff. And so it was kind of like a natural progression to transition into like stunt work and acting. And I always like being on camera. So that was kind of like just a natural progression.
That's awesome. You mentioned like wrestling background. Like, what exactly were you doing with wrestling?
So I did just a smaller circuit. I didn't ever go to like WWE or anything like that, but professional wrestling, like smaller venues and things like that. Just kind of like it was like started out as a fun hobby, and then started making a little bit of money doing that, but kind of got out of it just because didn't want to injure myself or something like that. So I thought this was a little bit safer of a way to go. A little bit safer. There's still lots of potential to be injured on movie sets and things, but
Yeah.
a little safer.
Okay, so you were on the indie circuit, which is awesome. Like, we have an indie scene out here. It's called Duke City Championship Wrestling. I used to wrestle like more the crazy backyard type
Yeah,
deals.
that's all. Yeah,
So that's awesome. I love that you are like a former wrestler. That's great. And this your line of work now is definitely a lot safer than, you know,
yeah. Well, I'm sure the backyard thing's even crazier than what I was doing.
yeah, it was bad. Like getting your head busted open with fluorescent light bulbs and all that. It gets kind of,
Yeah,
but I was dumb.
sure you had your fun though.
Oh, it was fun. My body kind of hates me for it now, but it was
Yeah,
fun.
exactly. Exactly.
um, so let's talk about Stream. Like, so this is obviously like this is a big deal right now. Like everybody's talking about it. Like you guys just had the premiere like the other day. How did that go?
Oh yeah, the premiere was amazing. We had a good turnout, and everybody it blew everybody away. There was a lot of things that were shocking in the movie that I'm sure they wouldn't want me to say now, before it comes out. But everybody that was there was, they were laughing at times. They were, surprised at times. It was just the whole theater was electric when the premiere came, and I think that the audience is really going to see the passion that we put into this thing. That everybody involved in making this movie is like a lover of horror films, and we're all fans of horror ourselves. So we made this movie for the fans, and that's what it's all about. So I think our passion's really going to be shown on screen.
I am looking forward to it. I did a review video the other day and like it's so freaking awesome. Like all of us are already hyped for this movie. Like we're counting down the days. Like it's not this week, it's next week. Like we are so excited for it. I'm actually going as player 4. I'm gonna dress up. Like I got my overalls, I got the mask, I'm gonna reshape my head. Like I told everybody on that review, I'm like, I'm a player 4 fan. Like the just what you see, that little bit of you like throwing people up in the air and like all that crap. It's like, how are you not gonna win this? Like,
Yeah. Well,
but
yeah, appreciate the cheering section for me, and yeah, I think you won't be disappointed in this movie.
yeah. So how did you go about getting the role of player 4? Like walk me through that process because like I know Michael and Jason and all them. So
Yeah, I didn't know them ahead of time. It was just kind of my I have a manager for my acting and stuff, and she sent me the audition. So and this was post. this was after COVID, so there was no in-person auditions. So I made like a video tape audition, and then I kind of forgot about it for a little while. Then like a couple weeks later, they got back to me and said, you know, we liked your audition. Do you have time to get on a FaceTime or Zoom or something and chat? And then we chatted a little bit, talked about the movie, talked about like what they would expect from me out of the role, and then you know, I was impressed with everything they had to say, and you know, I loved the idea of the whole concept of it. So of course, you know, I wanted the part, and then they offered it to me, and you know, I said yes right away. So you know, from the beginning of the initial meeting with those guys, you know, I think we clicked and had chemistry. So you know, they're great guys. It was great to work with. So we all got along really well.
I love that. That's awesome. Michael, um, Jason, Damien, like they're all great people. And like I said that in videos in the past too. It's like these guys are amazing people, and like doing this, having you on board now, like you have a presence. I don't know if you realize that or not, but you have a presence, man. Like it's insane. I think I referred to you as like a giant meat mountain.
Oh yeah.
And like, but like you, I honestly think this movie is going to do insanely well. I think you are going to be like I love David and everybody else, but like I said, like player four is my guy. That's who I'm going for. I think you're going to stand out, and we're excited for it. Is there any, I know you've been doing like conventions, like you just were at a convention like the other day, correct?
Yeah, I did the NJ Horror Con in yeah, it was in Edison, New Jersey.
Nice. Do you have any other conventions planned, especially like around horror movies and all that?
No, not really conventions. I'm going to be making an appearance at there's a like a Halloween store called Scare Pros, and that's in Levittown, Pennsylvania. And I'm just going to be doing like a little meet and greet there on I think it's August 29th or 31st, one of those days.
Like shortly after the movie comes out?
Yeah, yeah. So I think it might be the 31st, but yeah, I'm doing it. So you know, just to meet with people and you know get everyone's reaction to the movie and everything. So
That's gonna be
hopefully,
great.
yeah, yeah. So you know, I love you know talking to people about horror. I love the horror community. I love meeting as many people as I can. So
Yeah, we have a show out here that we do. I'm the head of security for it. It's called Morgan Crypt Horror Fest, and we're on our second year. It's next month. But I've already mentioned your name to the owners, and I was like, "Hey, man, this is a guy that we definitely need to get out here for year three." So, like, if you were like offered like convention appearances, things like that, are you open to doing those for like other
yeah,
shows out there?
yeah. I'd love to make as many conventions as possible. You know, as I said, I was a big fan of horror. You know, it's like a big family, so I love being around, being at the conventions, interacting with everybody, and you know, it's like these are my people. You know, the horror community. Everyone's so cool, and you know, we're all hyped, and the passion's there. So
Yeah, like that's the one thing I love about this community. Like horror is awesome. The horror community is the reason I'm able to sit with you guys and like be able to interview all of you. And like I love that. And like I've been in this community for so long, like since five pretty much, I think. The first horror movie I ever watched was Halloween 96, 98 or 78. So that's awesome.
yeah,
But speaking of horror movies, what got you into horror? Like what's your one of your favorite scary movies or one of your favorite horror movies?
um, well, I kind of always liked I like there's so many, but I like you know the original It, and was always kind of a fan of Chucky, and I like M Night Shyamalan, and I've worked with him before, so, you know, so
Yeah.
he's a really good guy, and I like most of the stuff he puts out. So there's just so many to mention, but you know the Halloween movies, as you said, there's just I do like I like the old school slasher type films, like the 1980s and like early 90s. That's when some of the best like slasher stuff. And anything from that time period, you really can't go wrong with either.
I definitely agree with that. So you're talking like the Hellraisers, the Freddy's, some of the like the Friday the 13th that were coming out around that time.
Yeah, exactly. Everything was like that. That was a really good time period for horror, and that's what I think we're bringing back with this movie and with the other things that the Fuzz on the Lens guys are doing. I think they're bringing back like the old school slasher like feel, but with a modern modern twist and modern technology and everything like that. So
I've been hearing that comparison a lot is like Fuzz on the Lens is literally revamping the horror genre now, like with the Terrifier movies and all that and everything they're doing. This like with Stream, God knows what else they have coming out. Like I'm interviewing, I think Jason next weekend, and like I plan on trying to get some information like with what else they're planning on doing. But this is a great time to be a horror fan. Like
yeah, exactly. I think, and I think some of this movie, I think even if you're not a horror fan, I think this could make you a horror fan. It's that type of movie. So I was just talking to somebody yesterday, and he said that like a lot of the horror movies that he's seen recently, or in previous years, everything's the same. Like ever since Paranormal Activity came out, then everybody's been doing like the same, making the same movie, just like changing it up a little bit. But I think what we're doing here is something that's going to maybe people that have lost interest in the horror genre. It's going to bring them back. So that's what we're trying to do.
And honestly, just from like what I've seen so far, I can almost guarantee that's going to happen. Like I mentioned it the other day. It's like we have Alien Romulus coming out this week. Next week we have Stream coming out. We get a tiny little break, and then we get Terrifier 3. Like
Yeah,
that's just it's nonstop. We just had what was it, Long Legs come out. Like we've been seeing fresher horror movies now, and I really do think that it's because of the Fuzz on the Lens guys like Michael,
oh yeah,
Jason, Damien, like all of them.
yeah, because
And
they're putting out such good stuff that it's making everybody up their game, and which is a good thing, because then everybody tries even harder. So
yeah, and that's good for business. Just in general, it's good for the community. It's good for business. Speaking of business, is there any other projects that you are currently working on or might be working on that you are allowed to talk about any?
just I've been chatting with several different people, making. I think I want to stay in the horror genre for a little while here. So I've been chatting with a lot of different people at the conventions and at the premiere and stuff, and we got some things in the works. Sometimes with like the indie projects, they take a little bit longer to put everything together, but there's definitely some things in the works that are going to be coming out, and things are going to take off after Stream. So I'm excited for the future to see all the possibilities and see everything that's going to be happening.
So my so like I've said this to I interviewed David Howard Thornton like a year or two ago, and I told him the same thing that I'm about to tell you, and I'm telling you this just off of the little snip that I've seen so far. Like I told David, I was like, "You're gonna be the next horror icon." Like, and sure enough, look at him now. Like, not only is he Art the Clown, the mean one, he's player two in this movie. Like, he is a horror icon now. And honestly, just by your presence and the short amount we've seen of you in the Stream trailer and the Red Band trailer, I honestly have that same feeling about you, man. Like, you give me a very like Kane Hodder-ish vibe. You know what I mean? Like you have that presence to you, and that presence like that's gonna shoot you to the damn moon, especially in horror, man. And
I'm hoping so. I'm looking forward to it. I'm ready. I'm ready to. I want to work on as many projects as possible. I want to put out good quality movies and everything. So this is what I love, and I'm really passionate about it. And I hope that everybody sees how much I love this in my work.
yeah, and like I'm sure everybody is like once Stream comes out on the 21st, I guarantee like I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna be doing a review of the movie literally that night when I get home, and I do honest reviews with everything, and like I already know it's weird, but like I already know I'm gonna love it just from the little bit that I've seen on it, and like you guys like horror is in great hands. Like with you, with David, with everybody else, like horror is in great hands right now. And like I want to speak for everybody that watches my channel and the other channels. Like I just want to say thank you for doing this. Thank you for like I know for you it's like your job, but you love horror and like all of us, we're just thankful for you guys, for you and everybody else for putting your bodies on the line for this, you know, for working endless hours doing this for us. And like we can't repay you guys enough. Like all we can do is go watch the movies, buy the movie, you know, but I just wanted to say thank you for being freaking awesome, dude.
Oh yeah, appreciate that. And yeah, that's the way to repay us is if everybody goes out to the theater and goes and watches it. Because right now we have guaranteed 5 days in the theaters, but as with like Terrifier 2, if everybody goes out and watches it, then it'll get extended. You know, it can stay in for a while, but you know they just guarantee you like a short amount of time at first. You know, just to see how the movie does, and then they'll extend it. So that's what we're really hoping is that it stays in theaters for a while, and you know everybody goes and sees it. Everybody likes it, and how could you not like it with that cast of people we have? You know, Jeffrey Combs, Danielle Harris, just
Like Tim
a
Reed, everybody.
yeah, yes. They say it's the Expendables of horror.
It
So
seems that's a good way to say that too, because I mean, Felissa Rose is in it, Danielle Harris is in it, David, like that's an insane cast. Like
yeah,
that's a goat cast.
there's I think there's at least one person in it who is not. It's a secret that this person's in it, so nobody's allowed to say who it is. But so there's a yeah, there is like an end credit scene that you have to stay for and watch that.
That's good to know. I was actually about to ask you about that. So there you guys, now you all know there is an end credit scene. So make sure you stay after the movie and find out what it is. I thought it was going to be Tony Todd at first, but then they show him in the trailer and I was like, holy crap, what?
Yeah, now there's somebody else that you don't know about.
That's going to be great. Um, so another question I want to ask, and it's kind of, it involves stream, but like obviously you can't give anything away. Is with how the movie played out. I mean, you guys know and you've seen it and everything else already. Is there a possibility somewhere, somehow, that this movie could lead to more?
Yeah, definitely. I think the way they have it set up um, is they could do a whole franchise out of this. So, you know, stream two, stream three, and that all depends on you know how the popularity of the movie and if everybody likes it and how much money it brings in and stuff, and you know if it can get a sequel. But definitely, it's definitely set for to have a whole franchise, but just like Terrifier.
That would be awesome. What I would love to see, oh, like, and I think this would be a cool idea. Like, I've even said this for 13 Ghost, is if we could get like a set of movies or even like a mini series, like, so for you guys, like on each player, like get to know who player one is, who player two is, like things like that. Like, if they were to do like some sort of a mini series on all of you guys, that would be freaking amazing. Or even movies like that would be awesome because character development, like, we know character development is so damn important. So,
Yeah, and that's a good thing that this movie really shows is you get invested, you know, into the characters, so that there's a lot more, you know. Whereas Terrifier is great, but there's not much character development in it. This movie's got like that quality of kills and gore, but it has, you know, it has the lead up to it, and you know you really get into the story and into the characters. Um, you know, it just draws you into everything.
oh man, that sounds so amazing. Um, I got one more question for you, just because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I know you're a busy man. To everybody who's going to be watching this, to everybody who is going to see this down the line after the movie comes out, to all of your fans, like, what would you like to say to everybody? And if there is any advice you could give them, what would it be?
No, I just I appreciate everybody. I appreciate all the love. You know, the movie hasn't even come out yet, and you know, there's already people getting it tattooed on themselves and doing cosplay of the different characters. So it's just been amazing to see the amount of love that it's getting so far for a movie that hasn't even come out. And yeah, I just appreciate everybody. I hope everybody sees it. Hope everybody likes it, and I want to meet all of you one day in person. You know, get to shake hands and stuff.
That's awesome. And again, I wanted to say thank you again for being on the show. We definitely appreciate it. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to sit with us and do this. It's because of you guys that I'm able to do what I do, being a lover of horror.
Yeah,
So thank you.
we're all
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we're all a family. Everyone in the horror community, we're all, you know, from even, you know, the top Jeffrey Combs, Danielle Harris, down to like, you know, the lower people in the movies, you know, down to like the, you know, the production assistants. Everyone's a family that in this whole community, we're all together. So
That we are. And as long as we stick together, like this is going to be an amazing journey for everybody, I think. So, man, I cannot, I keep saying it, but I cannot wait for this movie. Like next week cannot get here soon enough. I'm probably going to message you after the movie. You're like, man, I was right. Like, but
yeah, you won't
again,
do that.
yeah, no, I am stoked. And so again, thank you. And there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this interview. Stay tuned. We have more coming. Jason Levy is next, and then we will have others coming up as well. I'm getting Michael at some point. Until the next one, guys, stay safe, treat each other right. Peace.